it certainly does. Ooh, picked up a brush pen. Alright, we'll go with this. Go with this. So, I'm going to try a pattern I like to use. So I know when doodling, lots of people have like a pattern they like to do. I remember at school, like certain people would draw that figure of 8S, like the cubic one, which I always thought was interesting. And what it tended to be was the guys who did it, or the gals, they basically couldn't draw in any other fashion, but they got really good at drawing these random S's. And I myself never really interested. But I quite like this, which I guess is also kind of a figure 8. Not representing it particularly well today, but I always thought it was cool. I'm quite pleased with this project. At the time of recording, I have no views on the YouTubes. None at all. But, as this is a test project, not too bothered by it. But also, on time of recording, I know my Instagram has, I think I have 12 followers, which is not a lot. And to be honest with you, a lot of them don't interact with my content when it goes out. That, I feel, is not quite the point. I'm actually very pleased with the project. Just because I stuck to it, really. So I think it's a very cool project. And I suppose that is the point. You really need to make things because you want to make them. And I did make them, so I was pleased with it. Whether or not it will gain traction later is another question, but I think it's an interesting part of the process just to discuss. Sometimes it doesn't do what you think it's going to do. So I do have bigger plans, but sometimes when you're learning a whole new thing, so the recording process here, that's new to me, as well as the posting process, getting feedback. I'm sure there's something about the the listing that I'm sort of getting a bit wrong. I'm not sure whether you're supposed to put some sort of reference so they can search. I mean, I don't even think I put anything in the description last time. I just posted it. Because if I'm honest, whenever I'm on the YouTube, I can't think how many times I actually go into the description. And it's pretty rare. And then if you've gone as far as to go into the description, half the time you just end up going to their channel. And then you get the information you want from there. So, I don't know. I guess that's the point. I really don't know. I don't know. I guess we'll find out as we keep going with this. Which I'm definitely going to do. Maybe not this project, but certainly I'm going to keep making stuff. I do think there's a lot of value in knowing that this is a kind of scrap project. This doesn't need to be good, it just needs to be something. Which I think is definitely worth exploring if you're trying to do something creative. Just what is it that you can, well, like I said, I'm trying to get used to the process. So I think that's a big thing that people don't consider. There's that big thing you want to make, and then there's having the skills to actually execute it. And sometimes it's easier to take a project you're not quite so precious about and give that a go first. I'm also not sure whether the microphone, how much background it's picking up, because I know from my own ears I can hear quite a bit of construction. But whether that's being picked up, I don't know. It's definitely picking up something in the background. I can see a little bar going, but who knows? Who knows, honestly? I know some people are audiophiles and they'll tell me, oh, that's terrible. But I'm afraid at this point I don't really know any better. So I'm just sort of winging it. Because sometimes the act of doing is half the battle. Okay, this one's going to be a bit odd. Yeah, it's... okay. But, if you're quite observant, you're probably seeing I'm making up rules as I go along. But I know with these sorts of things, sometimes you just got to subvert the rule that you've made already, just to get it to work. Oh, I'm not even sure. Because it does this, yeah. Again, still feels like I'm stealing time. It is stolen time for something that I want to do. So I'm going to try and prioritize it. Random as a thing this is. It is nice to learn a new skill. Which is, I guess, how you see quite a few projects. Skill learning. I do think that's a useful way to look at things in general as well. Sometimes you find yourself doing something that's not exactly where you thought you were going to be, but if you think about it, like learning different skills, I think And it's very helpful. Don't know that I have all that much to say, to be honest. I'm just very, very tired right now. I did come across a thing that was saying that your body will use the calories no matter what you do. So if you're sitting, getting very stressed out, you actually have the energy to do something about the thing that's stressing you out. And your body will use the energy whether you sit or whether you do. But obviously stressing is going to have a worse effect on the body in the long run. And it's an interesting concept. As I say, with no views thus far, I'm not terribly worried about what it is I say. Will this be something that people look back on and go, oh, look, that's where he started, or will it just be something that never gets finished? Sits in the ether and I forget about. And only time will tell. These are thoughts I then go through your head when you're doing something creative. But like I say, it's like with my foray into the Instagram. I mean, that project took years to come to anything that it is now. So I started with the cityscapes, then I started doing the space scenes, and then I got it in my head that I was going to record those space scenes and make the reels, which I was very pleased with. I'm still very pleased with them. I think they're very, very good. It's the kind of content I would watch. That's definitely true. The algorithm no likey. Just keep going, I guess. That's all you can do. So it does seem to be what a lot of people say, is it's it's the people who keep going who are successful, not necessarily the best or the most effective, and just the people who decide not to give up. I guess it is a bit like that. It is a decision. But I do think when you're wired a certain way, you have a slight thing where I often will put creativity out of my mind and say, oh no, I've got so many important things to do, the truth is, if I don't do it, I'll go bloody insane. So, best do something. And like I said, the dot's doing the thing. That's the thing I was talking about at the beginning. Like, a bit out of practice. When it's very good at it, it's like each one would look like a spiral galaxy, at least in my opinion. Which I always thought was very fun. But I've obviously got the previous one bleeding into this, which I kind of like. It's like inspiration. It's like spontaneous. And I think if you're doing a pen project, sometimes you can get bogged down in the fact that it's going to bleed to the next page, because it will. I mean, I could cover it, but as I say, I kind of like it. It's just something else. One leads to the next, and the next. No, I've not put that yellow in. I don't even know if this is the right colour. Oh, almost out of time. Oh, let's do something big. Something big to finish. Yeah, so I created a timer because I think it can be very useful. Because sitting down and knowing that, oh, I could just be doing this all day when you don't actually have much time, I think can be quite intimidating. Because, you know, we'd all love to sit and art or whatever it is we want to do. Sometimes just setting ourselves a timer frees up that little bit of I'm just gonna do, and I'm not gonna worry. So I've got 30 seconds left. Should develop some sort of sign off. As of yet, I don't have one. Maybe I don't need one. Okay. I think that's it. Nice.